What is going on, everyone? Tim from Tierfon Orbital. It's always going to be me. I don't know why I even introduce myself. It's just it's my channel. It's always going to be me. So here I am. Hi, my name is Tim, and I'm a lightsaber addict. Anyhow, all right, so I want to talk a little bit about an install commission that I completed on an SP Sabers low ground. So this is a heirloom Tierfon special chassis, brass, hybrid. I don't even know what to call these anymore, but I'm going to keep adding adjectives onto them until it is insanely long, the description of these chassis, right? So this is a MJF, nylon, and brass chassis, right, that I've installed into this low ground from SP Sabers. I'm really, really happy with how this came out. It is. I mean, it really is a relatively simple chassis, right? It does have a spinning plasma gate around a crystal, and it just got some brass covers. That's really it. It's not too complex, but I am really, really happy with how it came out. I do want to come into Fusion and talk about the chassis. I do want to show like a little animation of how I designed it or how it works. And then we will talk about the install, and we will, of course, do a demo. I'm not going to keep you too long today. All right. So let's come into Fusion. Okay. All right. So here it is. A chassis in two parts. All right. So the bottom part of this chassis, you're probably asking why the midsection is blank like that. So the midsection resides underneath the switch section or the clamp card section of the hilt. You will never see it. So I didn't bother putting any greeblies there because it would be redundant, right? You wouldn't see anything. So that's why that is blank. I did put greeblies along each side of the chassis down here, right? I'm actually really, really happy with how the amount of detail that came out on this through MJF nylon, right? So there are greeblies on each side. I had to keep this relatively shallow on this side because I do have a wire channel, right, going up the side of this. I needed enough room for my two kill switch leads, my negative battery lead. Actually, this is a positive battery lead here. And my speaker leads, right? So that is the bottom of the chassis. Proffie board does sit in this area. It does slide up underneath this lip. There are two tactile switches that live in this section. So the way that these switches work in this particular hilt, right? There's a brass toggle on the outside of the hilt. There is a arm that is attached to that toggle that activates these two tactile switches on the inside of the hilt, right? So that is how you utilize. That is how SP designed this hilt in such a fashion so that you can actually use that brass switch on the outside of the hilt as your main and your aux, which is something I really appreciate about this particular hilt, right? This upper crystal chamber section was also done in MJF nylon, right? So I did some light, like greebly work around the upper section. There are two covers for the crystal chamber that are they attach to this crystal chamber with magnets, 3mm magnets. There is also a plasma gate, a rotating plasma gate that I install inside of this crystal chamber. There's a motor that I put at the bottom, right? Obviously, I don't have any room to put it up top, so the motor is installed in the bottom. Okay, I want to show little animation on how it works. So that's where the rotating crystal chamber is. This is something I really like about Fusion too. You can do animations on how all your parts fit together, right? I really appreciate that. Fusion is a very robust program, almost too robust, honestly. I get lost in Fusion sometimes, right? So that's it, right? Just a crystal chamber cover, front and back, and a rotating plasma gate. That's it. PCB emitter is up top. So once I wire everything up, this upper section gets epoxied into place, and that's it. Right? All right. So let's come up top. All right, so here it is. This is the low ground from SP Sabers. In my most humble of opinions, this is a fantastic specimen of Anakins hilt, right? It is all steel, a little bit of brass, very, very fantastically machined hilt. It's just a really, really nice hilt, right? So yeah, great hilt to install on as well, right? So let's talk about how to use this guy, okay? I'm gonna get to the battery compartment first, okay? So I did this in negative orientation up towards the emitter. I don't typically do that with my chassis, but I did that with this one due to space requirements. So you want to take the flat part of your battery up towards the emitter. So put it in that battery tray.
Jedi business, go back to your drinks.
That kill switch was already in the on position. So if you don't hear anything, hit that kill switch. Once you get your battery in place, you can put your grip back on until it stops. Let's take off the upper section of the hilt. Whoops. So there is that rotating crystal chamber. So another cool thing about this particular kit, right? There are two different pommels. There is a display pommel and there is a vented pommel. I do not have the vented pommel on. So to you, the customer, if you want some better sound resonance, you'll want to put that vented pommel in place. That is included in your box. I do believe you got the display version of this kit. So you have the display box that was also sent to me. I think this was shipped directly from SP Sabers, right? So you'll want to put that on if you don't like the sound resonance in this. But there's that rotating crystal chamber, right? So once you get everything in place, let's take this blade plug out before it flies across my room. Once you get your battery in and you're ready to go. Oops. So brass toggle down is your aux. Up is to activate, right? Up is your main, okay? So at the request of the customer, I put mostly Anakin fonts on here. So let's come down to the bottom.
Your pain has just begun.
So again, down toggle is your aux. Whoops. Down toggle is your aux. Up is main. Let's put a blade in it. All right, so this is a 7/8 inch blade holder. You want to rest your blade on those PCB pins. Behind this red button is a set screw. Oops. You want to take that red button off, tighten that set screw, and you're ready to go.
I've got a bad feeling about this. I'm Anakin Skywalker.
Great feeling hilt, great sounding hilt. Certainly slightly more comfortable than the original Graflex. One more. All right. So that's it. That is the low ground from SP Sabers. I always have a lot of fun doing these like hybrid brass and nylon chassis. I want to do a lot more of these in the future. In fact, I'm designing a few right now, right? So I want to try and do a lot more of these. So anyhow, to the customer, thank you very much for trusting me with your install. If anyone has any questions about this particular install or anything really, please do not be a stranger. And with that being said, may the force be with you always. Have a good one, everybody.